The public service they use impose burdens on our taxpayers. That's why our administration has moved aggressively to secure our borders more, by hiring a record number of new border guards, by deporting twice as many criminal aliens as ever before. It is wrong and ultimately self-defeating for a nation of immigrants to permit the kind of abuse of our immigration laws we have seen in recent years, and we must do more to stop it.
Well, I happened to be there that night, and I remember vividly many Democrats, many people, including Nancy Pelosi, who's still in Congress, cheering that speech. They would now say the rhetoric you just heard is white nationalism. What's changed and why? Martin O'Malley was Democratic governor in the state of Maryland. He joins us tonight. Governor, thanks for coming on.
Thank you, Tucker. Good to be with you.
Now, you know Bill Clinton well.
It was nice to hear. It was nice. I know him. Well, whoever knows Bill Clinton well. It was nice to hear a president of the United States acknowledge that we're a nation of immigrants, though.
Yeah.
I
mean, it depends what you mean by that, but it's right. I mean, basically right. But he said maybe because we ought to, and these are the words, be disturbed by the number of illegal aliens, quote, coming into this country, taking American jobs and burdening our infrastructure and social safety net. What's untrue about that?
Well, you know, I didn't research where we were in 1986 on this, but I can tell you that right now the number of foreign-born people in the United States is about what it was in 1925 when my grandparents, both of my grandfathers, were fighting in the First World War, both of them sons of immigrant people. So, Tucker, I think that the trick tonight that I think Donald Trump is trying to pull off is he needs to shift. When he comes in here, no president since Richard Nixon has walked into a State of the Union with as much of a criminal cloud of investigation hanging over him as Donald Trump has. So he is going to shift the conversation to immigrants. He's going to try to vilify, criminalize all new American
let me just say, first of all, if your grandfathers were fighting the First World War in 1925, they were the only ones. Second, I would say that members, a dozen or so members of Congress have brought people here illegally with them to the speech. So it's not simply the president is using it as a distraction. This is the central issue of the Democratic Party. They just shut down the government over it. So it's not just, it's unfair to say wherever you are, it's not just a distraction.
It's an important issue for the Democrats.
Exactly. So let's just address the issue. Let's just hit it head on. What do you think of President Clinton's remarks? They seem reasonable to me, but do they seem reasonable to you is the question.
No, I don't believe that immigrants steal our jobs. I don't believe that that's true. I believe that in any study, reputable study you look at, you see that our country as economy actually depends on a certain level of immigration. And it's my hope that members of both parties will be able to put forward yet again another compromise, and hopefully the president will take it. But is it that simple? So I mean, look, I don't think anybody. I agree with you. There are upsides of immigration, but here's Paul Krugman. You know Paul Krugman, quote, immigration reduces the wages of domestic workers who compete with immigrants. The fiscal burden of low-wage immigrants is pretty clear. I mean, is there any downside economically at all to having a lot of low-wage labor in your country from other countries? Look, that's not the problem we have. Last year, net immigration from Mexico was, I think, less than zero. So, look, the problem isn't that we have all these Mexicans coming into our country.
But I didn't say that. I'm asking you an economic question. Do you take it seriously? Is that something that you're concerned about at all? Is that an issue? It was an issue for Paul Krugman. It was an issue for Bill Clinton. It's an issue for a lot of voters. Do you think that's a real issue, or is it just nativism and bigotry?
No, not. I think right now it's nativism, and I don't believe that we have a level of immigration that hurts wages. I think what hurts wages is to force people to live in the shadows of our economy and not be able to live in the full light of citizenship, where they can actually, get paid a decent wage for a decent day's work. That's what's a drag on our wages.
Governor,
and that's the big problem our country faces.
I appreciate your coming on tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Tucker.
You're seeing the motorcade right there.